Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Cook Talks with AngryBlackWunmi. Today we'll be cooking coconut quinoa with a chickpea curry, and I have two beautiful guests with me today. One is Ronke Jonathan and the second is OJ Harper. Today we'll be discussing whether brands are using racism as a marketing tool. So stay tuned for the cooking, the convo and the camaraderie. I'm now joined by Ronke. We're going to make a start on the chickpea curry and the coconut quinoa. Quinoa is just an amazing replacement for rice. Like, if you're trying to, quinoa is just better. I'm not gonna get into it. I'll probably write it in the blog, but quinoa is like, yeah, what do they call them now? Superfood.
It's a superfood, yeah.
Yeah, quinoa is a superfood. So if you can replace your rice with quinoa, you're doing your body good. Right, so I'm gonna start with the chickpea curry, just because while that's simmering we can put the quinoa on. Oh, I might actually, no, we'll start with the quinoa. Okay. Just because that's gonna take about 20 minutes and that's the time we'll take the chickpea curry. So what we're gonna do is rinse the quinoa, measure it out. I'm gonna cook 3 cups. I think that should be enough for us. Okay.
How many people does that serve?
3 cups should serve. So the other day I cooked 1 cup and it served 2.
Oh wow!
So 3 cups should serve, yeah. So it should serve about 6. Okay. Literally just measure out, rinse it out, and drain it. I get this quinoa from Asda. The one thing with all these superfoods nowadays is they come in such small packaging. Like, if you want it in bulk, you have to source it, which is a bit of a pain, but they know what they're doing. I need scissors to open this, so Wunmi's gonna go over here and get some scissors. Ronke, I'm just gonna ask you to rinse it. How are you with rinsing? Because I've had some guests come on and their rinsing of grains and stuff is not really.
You have a sieve?
Yeah, I use a sieve.
Okay. I didn't know. Rinsing is it? Okay,
no, not everyone.
Let's see. Oh Lord. I'm going to be filmed rinsing and then my mum's going to be watching it thinking, what? I taught her better than that. Okay, let's rinse.
Right, so to think that there's literally...
Wait, that is 2 cups?
1 and a
so it's going to be 2?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
So we're going to do 3 cups. And this is a 300-gram bag of quinoa. So...
And how much does it cost?
About 120 something.
You see, that's where the debate comes from, isn't it, when it comes to healthy food?
Yeah.
Because that is small compared to if you can get like a bag of rice for like 60p for that size.
Exactly.
I can see kind of now why.
I'm thinking maybe we should just stick to, we're going to do 2 cups. So, screw. We're going to do 2 cups of quinoa and then that should be enough.
Right, can I get rinsing?
Yes, you can get rinsing. Okay. There's a sieve.
Alright, let's see.
Right, and while she's rinsing, I'm literally just going to do, I've got this, I use cream coconut for coconut dishes. It depends. Cream coconut for like coconut rice and coconut quinoa, just because with cream coconut you get a much creamier, coconuttier texture, as opposed to coconut milk, which can be bland and not have that coconut flavour you're after. And what I do, I get my Pyrex jug, I think it's called, a jug, and I literally empty the contents of the cream coconut into it. This is a 200-gram packet of cream coconut, Dunn's River one. Just any cream coconut will work. It's melted.
Are some better than others though, coconut?
Some brands, yeah, you can. Some they add sugar and they add things that don't need to be in it. So you have to kind of know what works. Right. This one my mum's always used, so it's something that I've just stuck to. But yeah, you can always try. So what I do, I just empty the content into the mug and I add water to it to dilute it, because obviously with quinoa and a lot of grains such as rice, etc., it's a certain amount of water to a certain amount of cups of the grain. So with quinoa, it's 2 cups of water to...
Right, how intensely am I rinsing this? I feel like I've rinsed it quite intensely.
Okay, more? Like, no. That's fine if it's...
Should I leave it in the sieve or should I put it back in the bowl?
You can put it back in the bowl.
Okay, let me do that.
So yeah, so I've emptied the cream coconut is so nice. And I'm literally just going to fill it up to the 1 pint mark, so we have enough cream coconut and water mix. I should have boiled the kettle and I haven't, so I'm going to do that now.
Quinoa smells delicious.
Me being the fancy person I am.
I was about to say, is that a water filter in
it's
the
a water filter in the
level.
I literally filter every water that goes to, that is in this house. Like I've got a massive water filter in the fridge. Got this one. Everything is filtered just because there's so much. Filtered water is not even the best water. That's just the thing. Distilled water is the best. Really? But I don't have the energy for water distiller.
How do you distill?
So they have like these big machines that you're meant to put it in, and it does it over like a period of time, and it puts it into like a jug. But it's just a lot of energy. Yeah. So I'm gonna boil that.
What are we doing with this now?
Is
there some water in it actually? Do you want me to drain it more?
Yeah, it's completely drained. It's just putting this up and then. There we go, thank you. Right, so with the coconut quinoa, I use the cream coconut, a bit of coconut oil just to stop it from sticking together, and then I also use I said coconut oil, right? Coconut oil, cream coconut, and the quinoa, obviously, and then I put a lot of herbs in it just to give it a more fragrance feel as opposed to just the ricey feel. Let me get out the coconut oil. Right, so I boil the water. I'm just gonna mix the cream coconut and the water. So what I'm gonna do is measure it out so I can actually give you actual measurements, guys, because I don't do this usually. So this is a 250ml cup. So about 500 ml of water. Mixing with the creamed coconut. Perfect. Oh, look at you, you're a star, Wunmi. With cooking on coconut oil, you shouldn't use it to like fry stuff because it's not good for on high heat. But in terms of like adding it into dishes, it works perfect. So what I'm gonna do now is, let me just take this off for a second and bring it here. I'm going to measure out the water for the, so there's 2 cups of quinoa, so we're in effect going to use 4 cups of liquid, and cup measurement is 250 mils. So I literally do 1 cup of the creamed coconut or water mix, and then 1 cup of water. Okay. Because you don't want it to be too rich.
Okay. So is this for the chickpeas or for the...
This is for the quinoa.
Quinoa, wow. Alright.
So in effect you'd be using, for this, you'd be using 2 cups of the cream coconut mix and 2 cups of just normal water, yeah. So I'd messed that up.
4 cups of liquid?
So 4 cups of liquid is
2 cups of quinoa?
Yes.
Oh wow, so it'll soak it up, right?
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of liquid.
It will soak it all up.
Okay. It's not going to get mushy.
No. I don't like, that's why I never actually liked quinoa initially. Like when the few times I tasted it, it had a mushy feel. But when it's cooked right, you want it grainy. But if you serve it straight away, it will have that. You have to kind of let it set, and it does the whole grainy thing. And it's
I do like quinoa.
Beautiful. So I'm just gonna now pour the quinoa into this. Oh, it's splashback. I should really be using a silicone one because then it would take it all, but I want to use my hands.
Are they clean?
My hands are clean, always clean. Clean hands must always be clean in the kitchen. But yeah, the hands are clean, I promise you. Constantly wash when I'm cooking. Right, so once I've put that in, I now add thyme, rosemary, and I feel like I'm forgetting something. A little bit of black pepper and Himalayan salt. So this is fresh thyme from Asda. I'm actually growing some thyme, but it hasn't gotten to that place of actually using it in cooking. So maybe in one of the other episodes I'll be able to use my fresh thyme.
And can you grow it like the other herbs as well normally?
Yeah.
Or does it have to be in the garden?
Yeah, no.
It looks different.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a bit tougher to grow than basil or...
Yeah, basil is the easiest to grow.
Yeah,
pretty easy.
smell.
It smells amazing. So just a bit of thyme, rosemary, because it just gives it a nice fragrance.
That smell as well.
Taste. Rosemary is amazing. Rosemary.
So you prefer it fresh to...
Yeah, I prefer fresh to
dried.
dried. In terms of, especially in a dish like this, just solely because you want it to have that outstanding. The fragrance is important. Although in the dried it would still work, because I've done it with dried many a time and it works fine. But I feel like fresh, it gives it a much nicer taste. And
how long will it last in the fridge?
What?
Fresh, because that's probably the reason why people buy the dry.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't. If you cook a lot, then you end up using it quite a bit. If you don't cook a lot, then obviously it's not gonna. You use it one weekend, you get to it the next weekend, and it's all
gone,
dried out. Bay leaf, just because the Nigerian in me likes to throw bay leaf into everything. Let me just grab the salt from this.
Okay.
Bit of Himalayan salt.
Just there.
Yeah.
That's enough. More.
Bit more. Yeah, there we go. And a bit of aromat. I use aromat in pretty much everything. Not too much, but just enough to give it just a bit more flavour than...
So it's all seasoned?
It's like all-purpose. But I prefer the taste of this to the traditional all-purpose we use, just because there's something about that's... Maybe it's because it's what we've used for so long. So once you've done that and you mix it in, you literally just mix all the herbs in and the quinoa in, and you're like, oh no, this looks like porridge, and you just leave it on the fire for about 20 minutes, but I'll give you exact time when it's actually finished cooking. Not too high, not too low. Best to cook it in a non-stick pot for obvious reasons. And then we're going to move on to the chickpea curry, which is one of my fave dishes to cook. It's quick. It's literally, you come home from after work and you're like, oh, I want something quick. Literally, boom, 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 and you're good to go. And it works with everything. Eat it with naan bread, coconut rice, on its own, plantain. It really just goes with everything, and it's a great source of protein. Me, you'd think I'd have mastered my cooker blend. I always get it wrong. Right, so that's avocado oil. It's the best thing to, if you're cooking at high heat, avocado oil is the best oil to use.
That's interesting. What's its closest, in high street terms, you know, like sunflower vegetable, what's the closest to the garlic?
All of those ones are actually not good in high heat, because once they're used at past a certain temperature, and when you're reusing it, because a lot of us will have a tendency to reuse the oil. When you refry oil, it's emitting. It becomes a carcinogenic. So it's not good. So like that's why I don't like deep fried plantain and stuff like that, because it's like you either have to commit to throwing the oil away after every time, or shallow fry it, because it's not good for the body. And we've been doing that for years. Like culturally, we've been doing that for years. I was about to say,
you got to be telling mummies and aunties, because that's not.
My mum is now at a place where she doesn't use a microwave. She doesn't refry, because it doesn't. All these things are here and they're messing with us, so we don't know. We're wondering where we're getting X, Y, and Z from, but it's
all that external. Yeah, got you.
It's all around us. This is like a signature thing for me. I always fry the chili oil. It infuses the oil, which then allows the flavor of the chili and everything else that you fry in the oil to just be amazing.
So good. I love chili.
I'm going to turn that down a bit just because I have to chop the onions quickly. I get to use my goggles. So this is my cook talk hack. When frying, use this one. When chopping onions, I put on goggles, and everyone's like, why do you do this? But it is, honestly, it's been a lifesaver.
Are you really prone to crying that much?
Yeah, I've been cooking since I was 8, 9. So, and I'm talking like my mum will buy 20 kg bag of onions and we've got to cut all of them.
Oh my god!
And we always tried stuff and it just never worked. Oh, wow. And one day I had goggles at home. I was like, I'm gonna put these goggles on, and it worked a treat. So, like I've said, guys,
You could run
goggles
that,
are your...
literally, the onion cutting.
Listen, onion cutting goggles. Wunmi told you. So put the goggles on and we're going to chop. For the curry, it really depends on who you're cooking for and who's eating with you. I like to have sliced and chopped. Some people just have it one way or the other, but I like to have a mixture of both sliced onions and chopped onions because I really like onions.
Same.
Anyone that cooks and doesn't like onions or does not have an affinity with onions, chances are their food doesn't taste nice. Because if you're not putting onions in your food, what are you doing? Exactly.
What's the alternative?
If you're not putting onions in your food, please, what are you doing?
Does it have to be red onion?
Red onions, I always use red onions in my cooking personally. Red onions are sweeter, so your food just tastes better all the time. I'm not a fan of white onions. You probably never find white onions in my kitchen unless someone's bought them and I've sent them to buy onions and they've ended up back with it. Yeah. I literally don't use white onions for anything. Shallots? Shallots, yes. Depending on what you're cooking, I'd use just because the flavour in them is slightly different for some reason. So yeah, as you've seen, I've chopped those ones in the first bit. I sliced it. I like a lot of onions. How do you feel about onions?
I love onions.
Okay, that's
honestly
good. Because there's nothing worse than cooking for someone. They're like, I don't really like onions, and it's like, oh, well, I'm sorry.
Anybody who does, but then, yeah, you're right.
I know some people that
they probably are.
Do not like onions for the life of them. The other day on Twitter, there was someone who did like a whole thread about white onions. I saw the first page. I was like, I'm not looking at it.
Exactly.
I'm not looking at it. I was like, you already know without opening this. One, that person hasn't been eating good food. Secondly, if they do cook, yeah, no. Onions are very, very, very important.
I can't remember this. Literally everything I cook, I'm trying to think of what I don't use onions for. What? They're honestly a blessing.
Throw them into everything. Like even if I'm cooking like just my prawns, like I
egg, everything.
Everything. Onions are a staple.
Natural seasoning, they're lovely.
Yes. I've actually never thought of it like that, but that's exactly what they are. So yeah, this should be enough onions just because we're still going to put tomatoes and chickpeas in there, obviously. Turn that up ever so slightly. See, hands are clean. Always wash.
Always clean.
Always clean. I can take off my goggles now as well. The one thing about them is they always leave like a mark around your face, but it doesn't matter because
is it okay, Kwai?
Yeah, you can stir that. So chickpeas, great source of protein and just a different legume. I feel like a lot of us, especially if you're Nigerian, African heritage, grew up on just beans and meat.
You're right.
Chickpeas.
I love chickpeas.
I love chickpeas.
When I discovered them, I was like, what am I? Yeah. And they're quicker than black. I love black-eyed beans.
Black-eyed beans, but they take forever.
Exactly.
Like, oh my god, you're really there trying to say, yeah, I want to eat something quick, and you're just waiting for these beans to soften. But apparently, if you cook chickpeas from like, if you don't get the tin ones, and you get they take quite a while. Not as long as black-eyed beans. I may be wrong. I've never actually done it, but they take quite a while. And actually,
interestingly, I've never cooked black-eyed beans from the can.
Oh.
Have you tried?
No, never.
Exactly. So maybe it's the same with the. Maybe we could cut out quite a lot of.
Exactly.
A lot of time. Interesting.
Just throw in the chickpeas. Once that is in, this is where all the curry ingredients come in because this is where you want to infuse the curry flavour into cooking. So for my curries, I always use turmeric, curry powder, obviously. In this one, I use garam masala and cumin. These are like my huge core because I literally throw turmeric in everything. These are my core curry ingredients. Just before I continue that, I'm quickly gonna stir the quinoa. I think you must always stir the quinoa intermittently, not too much, but just because you want to make sure it's doing its thing. I'm sure I had a spoon out for the quinoa. Yeah, and it's just doing its thing in there. It smells good too. So I've put in the turmeric. The curry powder is what I use the most of. This is, I use about 2 tablespoons, heaped tablespoons at that, not just tablespoons.
It's turmeric, cumin,
garam masala, and then the curry powder.
And that means you don't need to use a dry chili because you've already used the flakes.
Yeah, I've used the flakes, so that doesn't need to. Oh, there's a lot of cumin in here. So the cumin I use about 1 teaspoon. I always mix up these spoons. I'm like tablespoon. I'm like, no, you're the teaspoon. But yeah, garam masala. Oh, I love the smell and how rich it is. And they're heaped teaspoons as well, not level tiny. You want the flavour, and you literally just mix it into the
dry like
chickpea.
that.
Yeah, put a bit more oil.
See if I can.
Just because you kind of want it to fry.
So how can you tell if it's fresh? Not fresh, but you know what I mean. You know some.
It kind of hits
goes
you.
off.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question, and I'll be very honest. But if you know what it's meant to smell like, you know it's okay, and if it's not, you also know that. I'm gonna put a bit more oil in it just because it needs to really.
Turmeric doesn't smell nice.
Turmeric doesn't. It's not. Some people say it doesn't really have a smell or taste, but it's apart from the fact that it stains everything as well. It's one of those things. But
it's really good for you, right?
It's got some really amazing benefits. I don't like being put on the spot because in my head I'm like, I want to say the benefits, but I'm the wrong person.
It's just good. I just know it's good.
But I know it's good for you, and maybe when I do like the blog, I'll do like little explanations as to why I use certain things in cooking. But yeah, so you get this kind of, now you've got curried chickpeas in effect. Some people would stop there, but we want it all nice and saucy. So we're gonna go in with the.
Careful, he's slightly open.
It's always me. I'm gonna let you do this. This is honestly my favorite part of cooking it. But pouring coconut milk in is just so exciting.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you do this.
Okay.
Ooh. It's such a beautiful thing to watch.
She looks good too.
It's so good. Yeah, so with this I'm actually going to use.
Oh, it looks, oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
this is very exciting.
The sound on this video is gonna be
yeah, so look at it.
It looks, oh my goodness.
Look at it.
It looks so good.
So good. So we're gonna let that simmer for a little bit. I'm lying. First we're gonna put some Maggi in it. I use 1 Maggi and 2 Knorr cube. Well, 1 in effect. There's a really good like vegan like vegetable stock powders are good as well. So and they're really good as well. But this is flavors that I'm kind of used to. But like the vegan, there's I think it's called Vegeta. No, it's not called Vegeta. Why do I feel like that's Dragon Ball Z? I will write it down below. But yeah, there is a there's like a vegan stock thing. I don't have it. It literally ran out the other day. That's really good with cooking if you don't want to use like these seasoning cubes. But honestly, if you've never tried seasoning cubes, try seasoning cubes and.
You need them in your life.
Yeah, you do need them in your life.
But Wunmi, I think some people are saying that they're not, you know, they're not the best for health-wise. If we're thinking about health, there's a lot of salt in them. I personally love my Maggi or my Knorr, so I'm not gonna. But I think some people are starting to say.
Yeah, I understand. But you know, I don't think I can compromise on flavour because of salt content. For the most part, for the most part, the food is healthy.
Good.
If you have alternative seasonings you use, let me know because I'd love to try them. Mix that in and you let it simmer because you kind of want the chickpeas to
that looks Instagrammable.
Very Instagrammable.
You could Instagram it now.
The flavor. We're going to add in our beautiful cherry tomatoes. I've already prepped them, cut them in half. You can do the honors.
These are good.
Oh, so beautiful.
So not chopped tomatoes.
You can use chopped tomatoes like from the tin, but it's entirely up to you. I prefer this just because it's got such a nice, you get a nice burst of flavour. That's what I love. Our guests, our second guest. Let me just check if it is him. Hi, Jonathan. Alright, I'm coming to the door now. We're now joined in the kitchen by the lovely Jonathan. He's joined us. OJ. Which do you prefer?
Either or.
Either or. Okay, so you're not like, oh no, don't call
I
me
go
that.
by many names.
Oh wow.
The man of many names. Right, so you've literally got in here, we've got the quinoa on low heat. And we've got the chickpea curry pretty much ready. We're just gonna add coconut flour, which kind of thickens up the curry. Why do I have to think? It kind of thickens up the curry and gives it a nice, more, yes, not solid, but a nicer texture. And then we're gonna add some spinach to it, just for a bit of colour. I love my food to be colourful, so I'm gonna have all kinds of colour going on. I'll leave you sprinkle in 2 spoons. Let's start with one. Let's sprinkle in 1 spoon and then we'll see.
Alright.
Oh look, oh no, we don't
Too
know.
much?
No, you heat
Oh,
it up.
really?
We
Yeah,
heat it up.
This is like, hey, God.
Anytime
okay.
I say
You're
a spoon,
serious.
we're doing heat.
African spoon. So just sprinkle it in, yeah?
Yeah, just sprinkle it in.
Okay. Why coconut flour? And not,
Because with the curry we've got coconut milk. It's a kind of a coconut based curry, and coconut flour continues the taste. Normal flour would kind of nullify it ever so slightly, and that's the last thing you want.
Makes sense.
Put in another spoon.
Another one, yeah? Cool.
Not as heat.
Okay, I was getting a bit excited.
We're just gonna stir that in.
Okay, cool.
Just a consistent stir, yeah? Go for it.
Ooh, it smells really nice.
And next, I've done like a cold, white vinegar rinse on the spinach, as you do. Don't say Wunmi don't tell you stuff, guys. Cook talk hack. Rinse all your fruit and veg with white vinegar. I've said this many times and I'm gonna keep saying it because it's a very important thing. Because all these pesticides and all of the stuff they use to grow this stuff shouldn't be in our bodies. So we need to figure out how to get it out of the stuff, the produce, before we put it in our bodies. Oh, love. Ooh,
That looks so good.
looks beautiful.
That's delicious.
And I
Really
love
colourful.
this. Yeah. Now we're gonna put in the spinach, and we all know what happens with spinach. You put in the spinach, and then all of a sudden there's no spinach. So I've put in loads, but we know what happens. So literally just put it on top, and I kind of just let it simmer and do its shrinking thing. It's kind of reminiscent of like Ant-Man. Now you see it, now you don't. Literally, I leave it at the top initially, and I allow the steam to do its thing, and then mix it in.
Wow.
Right. So, just to give you guys a bit of context, Ronke and OJ both work in marketing. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
PR.
Related.
PR, marketing, design.
Yeah.
So they both work in marketing. Ronke has an amazing PR agency. Is that right? Want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've been working for myself for over a decade, so over 14 years now. And I work with small business owners and entrepreneurs, working on their PR and communications and crisis and everything fun to do PR.
Yes. I actually didn't meet her, but got to watch her speak at an event earlier in the year. And you know when you see someone and you're like, wow, I want to know what she knows. That was literally, I was sat there with my notebook going, yep, I'm taking these notes. But in my head, I was like, this is someone that I need to speak to. Because just everything she's about in terms of, especially like when you mentioned about growing up and just being here, it was very reminiscent of my life. Ever so slightly, but it was reminiscent. There were things that I could really relate to. So... And that was why I reached out to you. I was like, yes, can I have you on this? OJ, I've actually known OJ for quite a few years. His cousin is one of my childhood friends. And he's just out there doing his thing. You tell us a bit about that while I mix in this spinach.
Cool. So I'm a graphic designer, and what I do is that I specialize in branding and identity. So whereas someone comes to me, they normally say, oh, can you make me a logo? Can you make me a website? And all that kind of stuff. But I figured out that a lot of people, they were kind of jumping the gun, and they weren't looking at the problems that they wanted to solve first. So before I even start sketching anything out, I begin to talk to the person about their vision and what exactly they're trying to achieve, and then I'll suggest solutions to that problem.
So similar to consulting as opposed to just being the designer.
It's a lot more than design,
just
because you might not even need a new logo, or you might not need a new anything. Your whole approach might just need to change. So what I'm obsessed with is branding and what people are saying about you when you're not in the room.
Love that.
So that's what I do. And yeah, it's really fun. Really fun. I enjoy it.
So now we're just gonna let the spinach simmer, suck up some of the sauce and do its thing because we're expecting it to shrink. The quinoa is ready. It's done its thing. It looks amazing. So we're gonna go set the table and we'll be back soon. Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me for the cooking segment of the show. I hope you've enjoyed cooking today with me and my guests. Look out for the blog post on www.AngryBlackWunmi.com, where you'll be able to find the recipes, which gives you a step-by-step analysis of how to cook the whole meal, timings and all that good stuff. Tune in tomorrow to watch the conversation segment of the show. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next episode of Talk with Angry Black Wunmi. Bye.